My name is Borovsky, and I am a student at the University of Georgia. Upon arriving at UGA, I was privileged to run into some passionate people. My experience at UGA has been largely defined by my involvement with UGA Miracle. On a daily basis, people looking to make a difference inspire me to believe that I can change the world. On my Discover Abroad trip, I ran into incredible people who are also looking to make a difference in the world and who taught me what progress should look like. As my trip with Discover Abroad began, I experienced more than I ever thought possible. I surfed on an Australian beach in Noosa, and I saw some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, like Mount Cook. I could even picture myself living in Sydney one day. While having these tremendous experiences, I honestly thought the classes were just getting in the way of fully seeing the other side of the world. I did not think my views were going to be changed. I just wanted to experience Australia and New Zealand. However, I ran into some passionate people. My 35 classmates, our teachers, and our field guides. As I snorkeled the Great Barrier Reef with these people, I began to actually open up my ears to what was being said. Touching a sea turtle is something that should be able to be experienced years and years into the future. Just ask Harrison. I began to question what I thought about the world, but I mostly began to question where it was headed. Progress throughout the world is currently measured by GDP and economic gain. However, there is much more that GDP doesn't measure. GDP doesn't measure the beauty of Carnarvon Gorge or the happiness I felt experiencing it with amazing new friends. I remember that on our day in Sydney, we left the city and headed to Coogee Beach. We didn't care about the bustling city filled with people and shops, but traveled to see the beauty of cliffs overhanging a beach. Although I got to see the Opera House, I was equally captivated by the sunrise. I learned that progress was so much more than economical. Progressive decisions required looking at people, planet, and profits. But I found myself thinking, why did that matter? Nothing was going to change. All of these thoughts and experiences built up to the peak of my trip, swimming with the dolphins. Spending time with these animals was pure joy. It was a privilege to be in the water with such amazing creatures. I remember after swimming with them, sitting on the boat thinking that I hope people will be able to experience this forever. I thought that this had to be preserved for those in the future, but I was not sure that it would be. I was disappointed that this at one point would come to an end. And when I needed it most, I ran into some passionate people. The workers at Dolphin Encounter inspired me. Although they worked to gain financially, they respected the environment around them, which was crucial to their success. They made decisions based on the triple bottom line and worked to preserve what was there to maintain our current and future needs. They demonstrated progressive decision-making for a sustainable future. As I leave this trip, I fondly remember the experiences, but I am incredibly grateful to know 35 classmates, teachers, and people across the world who have inspired me to know that progress means so much more than economic gain. That there are people like me that are looking to make a difference in the world, that take people's happiness, the environment, and the values of people that live on this earth into consideration when making decisions not just for themselves, but for future generations as well. I was privileged to run into some passionate people.